You know, I didn't really want to make this video. I didn't think that I was going to need to make this video because for a long time I thought it wasn't really important and there wasn't any real reason for me to discuss this as a video. But looking back at some of my other videos that are very niche on their own, they're very like talky kind of videos where I kind of describe a certain particular thing. Looking back at those, some of them I didn't think they were a big deal, and once I made them I was glad that I made them because I look back and think, you know, that saves me the effort of explaining in like a foot-long paragraph to every person who comments. So there is, I guess, some use to making videos like this, and I guess the point of this video is not to put anybody on the spot. I don't want anybody who's recently asked me this to think that I'm putting people on the spot or calling them out or something like that, or for them to feel guilty that I've made this whole video, because this one's kind of a bit of a deep one.
Oh, shit.
But no, I just want to make this because I have over the years gotten this question, or, you know, it's paraphrased all different ways, but it's the same, essentially the same question of, can I play with you on X game, whatever it may be. And yeah, I want to make a video just explaining the multiple reasons, and this is not excuses. Some of these might sound like excuses, but some of them I hope you can kind of understand, and I want you guys to understand me better as a person, not just a YouTuber. And so, yeah, so I think the first thing that really explains why I don't play with my viewers, and this is quite a common one you'll see in the YouTube space, and it's regarding the whole fan/viewer and YouTuber relationship. So off the bat, regardless of whether you want this to be the case or you want this to happen, it just happens. I don't know if it's because of like social adjustment and like how we're like programmed socially to be with people through the internet, because the internet is still something, I guess, as humans, as like monkey brains, we still can't physically feel normal with, because it's kind of, you know, it is weird when you really think about it. We're talking to people we can't actually see, and we can't read the, you know, facial gestures and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of social cues that you pick up from interacting with people in real life versus the internet. You know, we all know this. Because of this line is created the moment you meet someone through YouTube, especially, or streaming, whatever it may be, and it's to no one's fault, it's just the way we are. And this is a very common reason a lot of YouTubers don't, or streamers don't play with their viewers or subscribers. It's because there is already this line set where you're a content creator and this is a random stranger who found you through your content, so they don't know you as a person. They, in my case, don't know what I actually look like. They know nothing about me. I'm just this masked guy who makes Call of Duty content and then whatever else I slap up on the second channel. And so there's already this distinctive connection where it's like they didn't meet me in person and get to know me as a person before finding out my weird, quirky YouTube channel, and instead they met me through this, but they have no ties to me in real life. They don't know me. And then I'm a content creator, so I'm not trying to say I'm on a pedestal, because I really like to completely banish that whole thing, because I know people like to think that YouTubers, some people, not everyone, a lot of people are kind of out of touch and they put YouTubers on a pedestal and they almost treat them like it's a god, or they don't really see them as like an everyday person because they've just seen them through the screen, and they just think, well, this guy will upload as many videos as I want, and you know, he's just a YouTuber, he makes cool funny videos, I don't know him, I'll never meet him, so he's just this kind of different person, right? Different person to everyone else. When in fact, you know, it's very much not that. It's a person like you who just grabbed his mouse or whatever, went to the internet and uploaded a video that he filmed with a piece of technology. Like, that's basically what it is. So I don't like to put myself on a pedestal, but because of this, like, distinctive connection between how they met you and the bond that you have, how you kind of know each other, there is already this weird, awkward line where I think a lot of YouTubers and streamers don't want to hang out or talk to their viewers because they're a viewer, they're a subscriber, or even a fan, and you're a content creator. So it already doesn't feel like you're just mutuals, you're not just like buddies, like friends who just kind of know in and out of each other, you know, the weirds and the bads and everything of each other. It's like someone who watches your content, right? And this is honestly a very common reason why people don't want to talk or hang out or make deep connections with their viewers, because it already feels very weird and it feels a bit uncomfortable. And so for me, that is definitely something. And more into this whole viewer sort of creator bond and why this is kind of a big issue, there is the trouble that some people create parasocial relationships with their, the person they're watching, and it's something that's quite scary, actually. It's a bit disturbing. You might have seen there's a lot of content out there of like really down bad guys who are like watching female streamers, for example, and they'll send a donation, or let's say they subscribe to their fucking OnlyFans or whatever, and what happens is that they end up like having this direct messaging with the streamer or the content creator, and then they sort of in their own head kind of build this parasocial relationship. That's exactly what a parasocial relationship is. It's this idea that you have something personal with them and that they owe you something, or that they're in love with you, or they're your friend, or whatever it may be. And the moment you don't fulfill that need, or you cut them off, or you get weirded by it, they can become aggressive or very strange. And this has happened to me, believe it or not. This has happened to me before, and I haven't ever spoken about this, but this was a few years ago. So this was actually under this alias. This was from this channel that this person found me. And this was before I did all the, like, the mask thing and everything. So they didn't have a clue what I looked like. They just watched my video, maybe found a few of them. They thought maybe I was funny or whatever it might have been. And they went to my Instagram and were just kind of like messaging me, like kind of asking me, like saying I was funny and that kind of stuff. And this was a girl, by the way. It wasn't someone who I would deem attractive. Like, this was kind of like, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but this was like a chubby kind of weeb like person, I'd imagine. Very weird. And so essentially at the time, I would have been probably 16 at the time. They were probably around the same age, maybe a bit younger than me. And I wasn't really responding to them a lot. I was just kind of being normal, neutral, giving them kind of normal responses like, oh yeah, thanks for that, compliments, this and that. But they would keep sending me these messages in all caps, like almost fangirling and saying all this shit, and then sending voice notes to me. And this was within like the first 5-10 minutes that I was speaking to this complete stranger, and it felt so awkward. I didn't know where to cut the conversation because it started to get really weird and uncomfortable for me. And yeah, shit like that actually happens, and I feel for YouTubers who get that when they're on like a mass scale. Like, we're talking like YouTubers with millions of subs, or 500,000, or tens of thousands, whatever it may be. It's a real thing, and it is so incredibly awkward because you don't want to be a dick by ignoring them. Because if you're like me, I have my Instagram DMs open. I'm more than happy to discuss like suggestions for videos, or just nicely talk with some of my viewers and stuff. I have a Discord as well for that, so I can connect with my viewers and subscribers. But there's a line where I think some people don't understand that crossing it becomes really, really weird. So I'm not saying that people who just ask me to play COD or whatever it may be in Discord or in my YouTube comment sections, I'm not saying they're these kind of people, but I just want to make that clear. There is situations where shit like that happens, and it is very uncomfortable for the YouTuber, and it can make things awkward with the person who's just supposed to have watched your content and support you. They might end up hating you and all that kind of thing. So that's something. And I also just want to kind of clarify that I don't make this a personal thing all the time to viewers. I don't really play with my mates on games as it is. I actually have a habit of playing solo for most of my games. You may not know this, maybe you have kind of picked that up. It should be kind of easy to gather from just looking through my content. I don't really do collabs, and if I do collabs, it's a very rare thing, maybe like an annual or biannual thing where I might hop on with the two same guys I've known for years, like I'm talking 7 years, and I'll play with them on Warzone. Obviously, if you guys know that I'm talking about the homies with extra chromies, that's me, Rick, and Quinton. Ooh. So we've known each other for a long time, and can I clarify, by the way, that one of them wasn't someone I just met through, like, normal ties and stuff. I met them online. So Rick, for example, I met him online, and it's very similar to this whole viewer kind of thing. At first, at the time when I met him, I was, like, maybe 50 subscribers, 80 subscribers, and this was on an older channel, so this was before all the Xavvo stuff. This was well back, and he kind of found me and Quinton, both of us, through, like, drama and, like, like YouTube rants and beef and stuff, because we used to make that kind of content. And so he at first was someone who we didn't like, we hated him, and he was just some guy on the internet who was like shit talking us, basically, you know, a kid, you know, and we were like maybe 13, 14, 15 kind of at the time. Yeah, I would have been exactly that, 13 or something, and he would have been like 10 or 11. So he was just some guy on the internet, and we didn't know him, we just thought he was a dick. Over time, we found common ground. Maybe it was because we all kind of came together to rant about a certain other person or creator, and then over time we became friends. But that is where I would say there's a difference between him and a random viewer or subscriber who's just met me maybe today or a week ago or a year ago. I personally feel like I need to connect with people over a long amount of time before I physically feel comfortable talking to them or being myself entirely around them without actually caring about all the weird shit that I do. So yeah, Rick, I met him years ago. I'm talking like nearly more than half a decade ago. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. So that's when I met him. And then Quinton, I knew him from high school. He was just some guy I didn't get along with who kind of hated me. We became friends years and years later, but that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really play with my friends as it is, but with those guys it's different because even then I don't play with them that often because I'm so fucking awkward. And obviously there's schedules that don't align and stuff, and not all of us are free to record at the same time, but it's also just because I don't honestly record a lot or do collabs with them as it is, and they're people I've known for years. So you can probably start to imagine what I'm going to start saying in a minute, kind of regarding how I am as a person. So yeah, I don't really record with friends much, and I have to know them very well before I feel comfortable filming and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're great guys, honestly. Those guys are legends. They honestly, I'm surprised they don't bully me more for how autistic and weird I am, but I honestly bring that out of them as well, so I don't know if that's really a good thing or not, but hey, I bring the goofy out of people, so I must make them comfortable, I guess. And now this takes me on to the general stuff that you should know about me as a person. I don't want to make this like really deep or go off on a really long tangent. I want to kind of stick on, you know, on topic here because of the video title and whatnot, but I don't play with most people or hang with friends because in real life, I don't really talk to people in general, and it is a huge problem. This is kind of why I take the question quite seriously when people ask me if they can play with me on COD or whatever it is, Minecraft or whatever, because I feel like I've let them down, and I feel like when I don't play with those people, I don't know what their intentions were. Maybe they just wanted someone to hang with. Maybe they needed someone to talk to, or maybe they don't have many friends, you know? And I totally sympathize with that. I really do. And I don't mean to personally say to people like no because of this personal hatred to other people. I just don't talk to people myself very often. And it really, it fucks up a lot of my life. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like I don't talk to people enough. I really don't. I'm very awkward. I'm antisocial, as I've told a lot of people in response when I get this question. I'm antisocial. I'm quite a cynical person in real life. I always find things to complain about or to be negative about, and I am trying to, you know, work on that, but I'm not a perfect person, is what I'm saying, and I don't talk to people enough than I should. I get when you feel awkward, sometimes it's you know, your brain telling you, like, this is awkward, you should do it. Push yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Right now in my life, I don't physically have that desire as it is. I've always been that way, I think, since a kid. Like, I've always avoided social situations. I've always found excuses to get out of situations, like maybe it being prom or whatever it might have been in school. Just avoiding shit like it's the Black Plague is what I'm saying. Like, just avoiding having to talk to people or having to put myself in sociable situations because I hate small talk, and I also don't like having to start conversation, which is so counterintuitive because to get friends and to have deeper conversations, you have to get through the small talk. And I get it. It's really fucking dumb, but that's how I am. And that's probably why I don't really have a social group or anyone I hang out with in real life. I've never had a girlfriend. I've been single my entire life. I'm literally coming on 20 years old in a month, which is kind of weird. But that is why I just don't socialize enough. And when I do go out of my my house and I do end up around people, I can't even fucking make eye contact. I'm that awkward. Like, it feels forced. I'm staring at them like this, right? And it starts to get weird, so I start blinking and looking off, and I don't know really what to say. I don't know if you guys can relate with this, but it's really, really annoying, and it does genuinely suck. It sucks a lot, and I get with, like, playing with people on card or whatever it may be, you know, that is on the internet, and they can't see your face. They can only hear you, but it still feels the same to some effect. It still feels really strange, and, you know, piling it on top of everything I've just listed regarding the whole viewer and YouTuber relationship thing and the potential for people to make parasocial relationships. Hopefully you can understand now why I don't play with my viewers. I'm sorry this is such a long video, but I feel like this is a much more in-depth video to make. It actually has a lot more layers to it, and yeah, I just want you guys to understand that, you know, as a person, I am very isolated, and it's not good. It isn't good. I'm hoping that obviously with time, if I start to, like, get myself out my comfort zone, get a job, you know, talk to people more often, and I start to become more socially kind of in tune with other people, I'll probably start warming up more to, like, making videos with random people, or, you know, hanging out and talking to my subscribers. I'm definitely hoping that that's going to be the case. This is not going to be a forever thing, but this is just kind of how I've been most of my life, and this is where I'm at right now, and this is why I don't play with my subscribers or my viewers. And so if you've watched this far, thank you so much. It's much appreciated for, you know, listening to me babble on for like 18 minutes. But yeah, it's a very deep onion to peel, many layers. So yeah, I don't film with my viewers because essentially I'm just awkward and I'm antisocial, and I just don't want to make things awkward between me and the viewer. But again, things can change. This probably will change one day, but I just wanted to make this a video just to kind of address, so anyone who ever asks me this going forward, I can just send them the video and it'll probably get the memo across to them. So yeah, it's nothing personal at all. It's just me.
I'm kind of retarded.
I'm just weird like that, and I prefer being alone, and even when I don't prefer being alone, I just can't really rise to the challenge a lot of the time. Yeah, again, so I made this really deep, didn't I? I've made this really fucking deep, and I said I wasn't going to. Sometimes you gotta be a bit deep, but, you know, you gotta let shit out so people can just see it for what it is, okay? I'm an imperfect human. I just make videos on the internet, and I really do want to let you guys know I appreciate all of the support, the nice comments I get, the people who join the Discord and you know, follow me on Instagram, people who just, like, you know, say really wonderful things, and, you know, people just leave really nice comments. Like, I need it. I do need it, and it means a lot to me. As much as I like to say I don't want to talk to people and all this sort of shit, I do need it. I actually do need it, and it helps me a lot, and it keeps me creating, and it keeps me motivated. But with that being said, thank you everyone for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like for me. Much appreciated, and drop me a comment. Let me know if you can relate with any of this, or, you know, what you think of the whole thing, and check out all the links down below in the description. It's much appreciated. But other than that, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for listening to me, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.